Steve Cassidy. Traffic directors are Megan Rose and Tig Tantiwan-Gumpai. Network creative director is Marky Lindemolder. Network director is Kevin Shockey. The senior vice president of the Altitude Sports Radio Network is Dave Fleck. This broadcast has been a presentation of the National Basketball Association and the Altitude Sports Radio Network. Denver Nuggets playoff basketball.
What a game!
Post-game coverage continues now on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. This is a special edition of In the Paint, live from the top of Section 136 at Ball Arena. Here's Dan Tanner.
Murray has it across the timeline. Picks up his dribble, throws it off to Westbrook. The ball's deflected. Loose ball comes down to Jokic. In the corner, Gordon has it. Doesn't want to shoot. He brings it back out inside the arc. Throws it back off over to Joker. One-on-one with Zubac. Kick out three, Christian. Yeah! Two-possession game for Denver in overtime. 108 to 104. Timeout, Clippers.
That was Jason Kosmiski on the call. Welcome to In the Paint, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. What a win for the Denver Nuggets here, where I am live at the top of Section 136. The Nuggets get the 112-110 overtime victory to take a 1-0 lead in the first round of the Western Conference 2025 NBA playoffs. As always, feel free to text the show. Champ Mazda text line is wide open for you. 303-504-0925 to weigh in on this just intense, incredible opening game to the first round series between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. Couldn't have really asked for a better game than this to kick off this series. Going into today's game, as I was driving into Ball Arena, I had a feeling that this series was just going to be an absolute bloodbath. And that's what we saw here in Game 1 between the Denver Nuggets and the LA Clippers. Just starting with the overtime period, this was some of the most intense, incredible basketball I have seen from the Denver Nuggets all season long. The effort this team gave in that overtime period was nothing short of amazing. We saw Christian Braun dive into the stands to save a loose ball and keep possession for the Nuggets. I mean, that was a monstrous play in the overtime period. And look, Russell Westbrook struggled, I thought, early on in today's basketball game, but his energy and effort down the stretch and into the overtime, specifically on the offensive glass, I thought was unbelievable. So credit where credit's due. Russ really made a difference down the stretch for the Denver Nuggets as they get the 112-110 victory over the Los Angeles Clippers to take a 1-0 series lead. The game itself was pretty interesting because the start of this game, everyone, the first shot for the Nuggets was a corner three by Michael Porter Jr., which he drilled. Then Nikola Jokic hits a three. Then Jamal Murray hits a three. So they started 3 for 3 from the three-point line. Excellent start, excellent shooting start for the Nuggets. Now, the negative coming out of today's game will obviously be Michael Porter Jr. Like I said, he hit the first shot of the game, and that was it. There was no other made field goal by Michael Porter Jr. in this basketball game. Not even a free throw in this game. So that's going to be obviously an area of concern. Look, this is something that I've been talking about all season long on my post-game show, the inconsistency of Michael Porter Jr. And I said coming into this series, he's got to be able to hit 40% from three. Now, granted, he was 50% tonight, but he only took 2. He only took 2 3-point attempts. He only took 4 field goals overall. So that is the biggest area of concern coming into Game 2, I think, for the Denver Nuggets is how does this team get Michael Porter Jr. going? But Christian Braun, the effort down the stretch was nothing short of amazing. I thought Jamal Murray really got going in the fourth quarter and into overtime, and that was the difference for the Denver Nuggets against the LA Clippers. As we get DMAC live here, let me get your mic up here, D.
Hey.
There he is, Darren McKee.
What's up, Dan?
DMAC, I've been scrambling. I got this all set up. Shout out to Andy, by the way, here at Ball Arena. He helped me a ton, so thank you, Andy.
That's awesome.
Okay, D, you just got out of the pressers. I saw you post Jamal, Adelman. Biggest takeaways from the post-game presser and what we saw here in Game 1.
Well, exhausting. Jamal wasn't, thrilled with his overall game, but does Jamal Murray just play unbelievable in clutch moments?
It's amazing.
And even if he's not having, the greatest night. And a lot of talk centered around the use of Michael Porter Jr. and Russell Westbrook. And David Adelman was insistent that if guys aren't feeling it, if it's just not happening, I'm just going to go with whoever's playing well. And Westbrook is – even Adelman said, hey, there might have been a couple moments where he should just – pulled the ball back out, but he said his mentality is if I have one defender, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to come after you. And in the locker room afterwards, we're on the radio, right?
Yes.
And,
yes.
Okay, I'll be careful. He said, my job is to F-S up. Okay? You understand what that's his role.
Yes.
And when you're watching Russell Westbrook, it is like, no!
Yes!
No! Yes!
He really is a roller coaster, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. But those offensive rebounds with him and AG were
incredible.
Incredible.
I thought that was
absolutely incredible.
I thought Russell Westbrook on the offensive glass, DMAC, late in the fourth quarter and into overtime.
Yeah.
The Nuggets don't win this game without him doing that.
I guess not.
And how about the effort play we saw from Christian Brown in the overtime, diving out of bounds, saves the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting right here watching the end of the game like there's no way he wasn't out of bounds. Yeah. They didn't call him out. I haven't seen the replay. I guess he wasn't. Yeah. But the energy and the effort and the intensity I saw from this Denver Nuggets team in the fourth quarter in overtime, I haven't seen anything like that from this team all season long. And to have us see it in Game 1 in overtime, that's a good sign for this team moving forward that they are sort of starting to figure things out.
Well, Jamal said that post-game. He said those are the things that don't show up on the score sheet. That's the championship mentality. That's, all that sort of thing, and he's not wrong about that. And also just really clutch, huge minutes for the starters. They only went 3 deep, and they really barely played Jalen Pickett, just 5 minutes. So, all right, you saw a little bit what Adelman has in mind, right? It's not that different than what Michael Malone, they used AG as the 5 again. That's a fascinating Clippers team. That's a really good team, but they're not the biggest team aside from Zubaz, right? So,
he was a problem tonight. They're going to have to figure that out.
That dude is a baller.
He's good.
That guy is a really good basketball
And he pretty much was getting anything he wanted inside of the painted area tonight. So I will be curious to see what sort of adjustments they try to make with Zubats, specifically on the defensive end, because he was, like I said, getting to all of his spots anywhere they wanted on the Clippers' offensive side. But one thing real quick, DMAC, before we hit a break, because you said something earlier about Adelman going with Russ down the stretch, not MPJ. He talked about this. He said, look, I'm not going to mince words here. We're going to go with, at the end of games, who's playing the best and who's giving us the best chance to win. Kudos to Adelman, because it would have been really easy for him to throw MPJ back out there, but he
thought about it.
He means it.
He said he thought about it, but he said you don't mess with runs. And they went on a 13-2 run at the end of the second quarter, and MPJ wasn't part of it. So he did say he was thinking about it. Then he made an interesting point, do I put a guy back in the game, in not game time, but in real time, has been sitting for 40 straight minutes? Is that fair to him?
Yeah.
And he said ultimately, no, not really. Now, how do you keep MPJ connected to things? And, hey, man, if you're at the game, you saw he's, kind of on the outs of the huddle and just doesn't really look like he's into the game that much and whatever. And we talked about it all week leading up to this. Somehow you've got to draw Michael Porter Jr. into the game. And What did he take? 4 shots?
Well,
4 shots?
He hit the first 3 of the game.
He did.
I literally wrote in my notes here, FPJ hits first 3, good sign. That's what I wrote down in my notes. I'm like, well, that's a good sign.
Those were the only points he scored.
That was it.
Yeah.
He didn't even get a free throw.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Literally, that was it. He opened the scoring in this game for the Nuggets, and he didn't score after that.
Let's not forget, this is the same Michael Porter Jr. who at one point during the season had 3 30-plus scoring games in a row.
Yeah, that was right before the All-Star break.
That is right. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook was 5 of 17. I mean, there are sometimes his shot looks terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's got no chance of going in. But he hit a big 3 late, and his offensive rebounding was incredible. His hustle is amazing. But he is going to drive you nuts, Stan. He is going to drive you nuts. And just as likely as you are to have him be a real important cog to winning this game, the exact opposite could be true in losing a game just like this.
And he hit a huge 3 down the stretch.
He
I
did.
mean, you said 5 of 17?
5 of 17.
But I think it put the Nuggets up 98-96 on a massive corner 3.
Everything with Russ is no.
Yes! All right, great stuff. DMAC, you're going to be at the –
I got to go.
You got to go. Avs and
go.
Stars, you're going to be at the Golden Rose?
Buffalo
Rose. Sorry, I got that wrong.
That's okay.
I've drank there. I should know this.
That's all right. When you drink there, you do forget names.
Buffalo Rose.
Buffalo Rose and Golden, and Raj and Spring are going to be doing this version.
Yep.
Hockey later. I'll be hosting the party, so I barely have any responsibilities whatsoever. But the heavy lifting done by Raj and Network pregame's coming up here shortly.
All right, D-Mac, get out of here.
Right,
go do Avs.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get a double dipperoo win for the Avs and Nuggets. Everybody, that is Darren McKee as the Nuggets get the 112-110 victory in Game 1 of the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Want to remind you, lock in your 4-game pick'em plan for the 2025-26 season, starting at just $100. Choose your games and seats once the schedule drops in August. Save on fees, get 2025 playoff priority access. Secure your plan today, and don't miss the biggest moments at Ball Arena. Visit nuggets.com to purchase. All right, lots more to get into here on the postgame show. We'll take you right up to the pregame for Avs and Stars. Can we get a double dipperoo win? How cool is this? Both game ones for the Avs and Nuggets on the same day. The timing works out great where the postgame for the Nuggets will end and the pregame for the Avs and Stars will begin. So keep it locked into Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 all day. We've got coverage. We've got Rapids over on 950. We are the best for your Denver sports coverage in the Mile High City. You're listening to In the Paint right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Altitude Sports Radio is the home of your Denver Nuggets, and we want to put you at Ball Arena for all the playoff action.
Well, if you're not awake yet, you are now.
All day Monday.
Monday!
It's a Nuggets Playoff Ticket Monday.
Mondays are awesome.
We've got your tickets for Nuggets Clippers Game 2.
That's big right there now.
Listen on the 20s for keywords to text and enter. It's a Nuggets Playoff Ticket Monday.
Well, I will see you Monday.
From the home of the Nuggets, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Hello, Colorado. It's the man in the van for Good Times, inviting you to try our fish fry sandwich made with breaded cod from the Atlantic Ocean. That's the big watery place out past all those tiny little states like Rhode Island, Delaware. No mountains, but good fish at Good Times.
Altitude Sports Radio is the home of your Denver Nuggets, and we want to put you at Ball Arena for all the playoff action.
Well, if you're not awake yet, you are now.
All day Monday.
Monday!
It's a Nuggets Playoff Ticket Monday.
Mondays are awesome.
We've got your tickets for Nuggets Clippers Game 2.
That's big right there now.
Listen on the 20s for keywords to text and enter. It's a Nuggets Playoff Ticket Monday.
Well, I will see you Monday.
From the home of the Nuggets, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
It matters who your lawyer is. At Berg Simpson, we truly care about the quality of work we do, that fair compensation is given, and that our clients are getting the best possible representation. We're proud of that, and it shows.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives. It's not just a slogan, it's who we are.
basketball fans, ready to score some cash back? Tip off your shopping trips with the Ibotta app and get cash back on groceries and more. Start with Ibotta to find offers at hundreds of your favorite retailers, from grocery and home improvement to sporting goods and apparel. Then shop as usual in-store or online. The average saver earns over $100 per year. Download the free app and start earning cash back today. Ibotta. Cash back made easy. Ibotta is a proud sponsor of the Denver Nuggets.
At Safeway, get everything you need for your spring feast. We make it easy to prepare with succulent spiral sliced ham, fresh spring flowers, and sweet treats for your Easter baskets. Get started at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline, or a 2.99% APR on a 2025 CR-V.
See dealer for financing details.
Every morning, we look ahead to what's going to happen with your day.
Our team works relentlessly to make sure we are everywhere for you.
Looking ahead to any potential weather impact days.
Traffic updates and breaking news live from the scene to keep you updated.
We ask the questions you want asked, and we bring you stories you'll only find on 9 News.
Start with 9 News mornings every day, beginning at 4:30 a.m.
You cannot be indecisive in life, let alone football.
Stay tuned for more Altitude Sports Talk.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
The daughter of an electrical engineer, Leslie Bailey's dad told her that she should learn a trade. Even though she waited until her 40s, she switched careers and became a union electrician. She loves the freedom to travel and work in other states or countries and says the feeling of belonging to something bigger than yourself is amazing.
I'm Leslie Bailey. I am the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW. Come join us.
Go online at IBEW68.com.
Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Nuggets postgame continues. You're in the paint.
Harden has it. He's across the timeline. He gets a high pick there from Kawhi Leonard. Goes to the left hand. Driving a dish. Corner three. Done. That one's no good. Rebound tipped by Jokic and grabbed by Murray. Denver's on the move again. Murray has it up the left sideline. He's inside the arc. Now in the paint. Leans in. Floater. Good! 3-point lead for Denver. 103-100. 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, Jamal Murray was fantastic for the Denver Nuggets down the stretch in the fourth quarter and into overtime as the Nuggets get the 112-110 overtime victory over the Los Angeles Clippers, where I am live here at Ball Arena. You can check us out on YouTube. Just check out our Altitude SR YouTube account. Live on twitch.tv/AltitudeSR. We're live on our Altitude Sports Radio Twitter page as well, and live with all of you here on 92.5 reacting to the Nuggets' huge overtime victory over the LA Clippers. I tell you what, I said this in segment 1, if this game gives us any sort of clue as to how this series is going to play out, we are in for a really fun first-round series. I got to tell you, the Clippers are a really good basketball team, and it's not that I didn't think the Clippers weren't a good team heading into this series. I mean, they have the same regular season record as the Nuggets do. They've got Kawhi Leonard back. James Harden was really, really good in this basketball game. He actually had 15 points in the first quarter. I thought the Nuggets actually sort of bottled him up as this game went along. So nice adjustments from the coaching staff. They started to double team him a little bit more, and that definitely seemed to slow him down. I mean, he obviously hits the huge three-pointer going into the half, but overall, I thought the Nuggets did a really good job after the first quarter limiting what James Harden could do. And I got to tell you, I'm looking back at the court right now. It is still just really difficult to watch James Harden play basketball. And, I don't really even necessarily blame James Harden for the way he plays. It's just the way that the league's rules are set up. But, man, is it an ugly, ugly form of professional basketball. But it works for him. I mean, he finished the game with 32 points. Like I said, after the first quarter, where he scored 15, he only ends up scoring 17 quarters 2, 3, 4, and overtime. So the Nuggets definitely did a much better job, not just on James, but just overall defensively. Look, the way the Nuggets started this game on the defensive end was not good at all. I mean, they were an open sieve on the defensive end for basically the entirety of that first quarter. They give up 35 points, but then in the second they only give up 18. In the third they give up 22. In the fourth they give up 23. And in overtime they give up 12. So bravo David Adelman and Ryan Saunders and the coaching staff for making the adjustments that they did, because I mean, I'm like, oh my goodness, are the Clippers going to score 140 in game one, round one? Is that what we're going to witness here at Ball Arena in game one? It was 98-98 going into overtime. So both teams sort of got bogged down a little bit offensively after that first quarter. I think both teams really started to settle into this basketball game. But again, in order for the Nuggets to have any sort of chance in these NBA playoffs, they're going to have to be able to have games like this where, look, they're going to struggle at times defensively. We've seen that all year from this team, but they do have the personnel to be able to clamp down and lock down and make the adjustments that this team needs to make in order to stay competitive. And that's exactly what we saw here at Ball Arena tonight. When they locked down on defense, they never let the Clippers fully get away. It ballooned this lead up to 25. It did get to 15 at one point in the second, but the Nuggets ended the second quarter on a 13-2 run. So, again, the defensive effort tonight I thought was absolutely fantastic after that first quarter. Kudos to Russell Westbrook, Aaron Gordon, chasing Kawhi and James Harden all over the court. Christian Brown, I thought his defensive effort and energy tonight was unbelievable. He's been so good for this team all year, and it was great to see him make a game-winning play, I like to call it, in overtime, where he dives out of bounds to save the loose ball. It would have been Clippers possession. He saves it. The Nuggets end up getting possession, and I believe they scored a bucket on that offensive possession as well. So that was excellent stuff from Christian Brown. DMAC and I just talked about this. Russell Westbrook he's an enigma. Like, he is such a roller coaster, and it's been that way all year. It's not surprising. This is what we've seen from Russell Westbrook all season long. But when Russ needed to perform and produce down the stretch in this game, that's what we saw. He hit a huge three in the corner at the end of the fourth quarter to put the Nuggets up 98-96. He got a bunch of offensive rebounds late in the fourth quarter and into overtime. So as bad as Russ has looked at times this season, and as bad as Russ looked at parts of today's game, he really came through when the Nuggets needed him most. So that was excellent to see today. Another guy that really got going as this game went along, specifically in the second half and really in the fourth quarter and overtime, was Jamal Murray. I believe he was 2 for 9 at halftime, and I'm sitting here looking at the box score at halftime like, man, if Jamal doesn't get going, they don't have a chance in today's game. And I don't think they would have, by the way, but he did get going. And you could tell there was a scary moment where Jamal was trying to block a Kawhi Leonard shot. He actually rolled over into the crowd, and you could tell he rolled his right ankle, I believe, because he got up limping and he looked like he was in a lot of pain. And I was just sitting there like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Well, the Nuggets call a timeout. 3 minutes later, Jamal's out there zipping around the court. So clearly it didn't affect him like I thought it looked like it would. So that was really good to see. Now we'll see how that ankle feels tomorrow for Jamal Murray. I still think that's something to keep an eye on. But the way Jamal responded after that, I thought was absolutely fantastic. He spoke to the media in the locker room after the game. Let's hear what the Blue Arrow had to say after the Nuggets overtime win.
Jamal, I know you're not one to get too high or too low over the course of the game, success or failure, but how did it feel to kind of get going there later in the later portions of that game? And those few threes you hit felt like they were momentum changers.
I'm glad they were. I just feel like I could play a lot better. Throughout the game, still trying to just gotta settle down and make some shots, but it felt good to get it up.
Jamal, how valuable has the years of experience playing alongside Nikola, Aaron, CB been in moments like that where the game is tight that you guys can lean on the years that you have played together?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. It stems from that trust stems deep. Just from playing together, playing in so many big games, and I just think we have a lot of trust in each other. So that was one part of the reason why I feel like we got the job done today, and even then, I think we can be a lot better for next game.
Jamal, you knew you were going to see a whole bunch of extra bodies, a whole bunch of extra attention. They started doubling off of Russ kind of in that fourth quarter. Just how big was that shot by him, and just understanding that the ball is eventually going to find him in a lot of those situations?
Yeah, I don't think it was just a three, though. He makes a lot of winning plays, stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, So I don't just watch the shots that he makes. He was 5 for 17. It doesn't matter to me. He's playing hard. He's playing defense. He's talking. He's in the huddle. He's active. He's anticipating passes. He's doing everything else. And so, a lot of stuff doesn't show in the stat sheet, and you just look at the shots that he makes and misses. But I feel like he impacts the game in plenty of ways, and he did that again tonight.
Was there an uptick, just your aggression in the third quarter and just in the second half in general? What were you seeing in terms of the coverages? How were you able to kind of counteract it a little bit?
I didn't really do anything. I just tried to play solid throughout the game. I didn't make, I had some good looks that I didn't make, but I didn't do anything special, in my opinion.
Jamal, obviously Mike didn't play a lot late, and DA just talked about you got to coach the game. You can't worry about guys that aren't necessarily engaged. But do you, as one of the leaders on the team, make sure guys that aren't necessarily in the game in crunch time are still staying engaged, or can you? Is that a conversation you have? I'm not speaking about Mike. I'm saying in general that the guy's not as engaged as you'd like.
Sure. If I'm on the court, though, I'm not going to the bench and telling whoever he's got to stay locked in.
Okay, there's Jamal Murray after the Nuggets 112-110 victory over the LA Clippers in Game 1, Round 1 of the Western Conference NBA playoffs. Yeah, Jamal's being Jamal there, and that's fine. It's funny. DMAC, Scotty, and Tyler and I yesterday were talking about how DMAC actually said, sometimes in the regular season, the moody Jamal can be a little difficult to deal with. But in the playoffs, and I agree with the guys, be a dog, man, and Jamal Murray is that. And like I said, it really is unbelievable how clutch this guy is, and just how he's able to turn his performances around in big games, in big moments. I'm not trying to say that Jamal is electric every single playoff game, every time he's on the court. Really, the only guy that's ever done that on this team is Jokic. Okay, let's be honest. But when it comes down to crunch time, and the Nuggets need him to perform, he's always there for this team. It's like clockwork. So kudos to Jamal. Kudos to him fighting through that. Like I said, he rolled his ankle there in the first half, so kudos to him for fighting through that. That was excellent to see. He looked no worse for the wear after that, which was awesome. And they're going to need him. I'm telling you, everyone listening, Jamal Murray is going to be the key for the Nuggets, whether or not they can make a deep postseason run and have a chance at their second NBA championship. We all know this, okay? When Jamal Murray is playing all-star level, all-NBA level basketball, this team has a chance against anybody in the NBA. And when he's not, like we saw in the second round against Minnesota last year, we all know the results of that. So Jamal Murray is going to be absolutely huge every single game for the Denver Nuggets. Okay, Nuggets fans, the Mile High playoffs are streaming on Altitude Plus. Sign up now and get exclusive access to a 3-day free trial. Use promo code ALT3 free. That's the letters ALT, the number 3, and FREE. Code must be redeemed at altitudeplus.com. Offer subject to terms and conditions and ends Thursday, April 24th. I have Altitude Plus. It is awesome. I can stream Avs and Nuggets games on I just airdrop it to my TV. I've got it going on my laptop. And remember, the first round for both Avs and Nuggets are going to be on Altitude TV. So that's a great deal there, and it's been fantastic. I've been using it since it came out. All right, one final break. We'll come back and get you ready for Avs and Stars. That pregame coverage will begin starting at 6 p.m. with Berto, and we're going to hear from the Nuggets head coach David Adelman. How did he feel in his first game as the head coach in an NBA playoff game? That's coming up next.
Lombardi.
The University of Colorado and the football program has a right to do whatever the hell it wants to do with its numbers, its jerseys. You know what this smacks of to me? History doesn't exist. We started this tradition of CU football. Whatever happened before us doesn't matter. The inability to look at the past and respect what those before you have done. That's exactly what it does. I'm not saying that these guys don't deserve to have their numbers retired. They probably do. But now?
Wake up with Brett Kane at 6 a.m. Then it's Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane at 7. Altitude Sports Radio, 92.5.
There's the horn.
Nugget Station. Game's over. We've seen the alley-oops, the assists, the clutch three-pointers. The Nuggets left it all on the floor. Now it's your turn to close out strong. When you recycle your aluminum cans, you score big for sustainability. Let's celebrate together and go all in for a sustainable future. All in for the Nuggets. All in for aluminum. Ball. All in.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Style or substance? Somehow it became one or the other when choosing a truck. But there is another choice, not stopping until you have everything. That's GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Well-qualified buyers get 0.9% APR on 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 models. See your local GMC dealer today. Length of contract limited. Some customers will not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 4/30/25.
Terry, when you want juicy, tender chicken, there's no compromise. It has to be Redbird Farms. That's what real chicken tastes like.
Vic, I've been serving Redbird for years. You're just happy I'm cooking, aren't you?
Of course, I'd be lost without you and without Redbird.
I'll take credit for both.
I believe in it. Juicy, tender, delicious. It's a no-brainer.
Redbird Farms chicken, available at King Super, City Market, and Safeway.
Grill it, fry it, put it in parm. As long as you make it Redbird Farms.
I got a nightmare phone call that no parent wants to receive.
Someone hit me going 60 miles an hour.
Dr. Ramos came highly recommended. When I showed him the x-rays, he immediately knew exactly what was wrong.
We've had a tremendous experience with Ramos Law. Really, I could not be happier. Having the car accident was an accident. Finding Ramos Law was no accident.
Injured in a car accident? Ramos Law can help. RamosLaw.com.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or HR-V.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
If there's a team that represents my fine state or my city, I'm a fan of that sport.
Altitude will be right back.
Hey guys, this time of the year you can't help but think about your future. And what does yours look like? Tyler Plum is here for the electricians at International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Step up this year and go for it. Talk with the folks at IBEW about a future that includes a career, benefits, great wages, and a group of people around you that give you support, growth, and a solid future. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 68. Start with a job, end with a career. Go to IBEW68.com for more information.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons Inc.
Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Nuggets postgame continues. You're in the paint.
Nuggets get the 112-110 victory over the LA Clippers here at Ball Arena to take a 1-0 series lead in the first round of the Western Conference NBA playoffs. If you're looking to get in the building for Game 2, you can still buy tickets at nuggets.com/tickets. More winning. If you're more into them winning, tune into Altitude Sports Radio all day on Monday for your chance to win. We'll have keywords on the 20s on your home for Mile High Playoffs. Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. All day you'll have chances to win more Nuggets playoffs right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. So if Game 2 is going to be anything like Game 1, you're going to want to be in the building as the Nuggets get an overtime victory over the LA Clippers. All right, before we hear from head coach David Adelman, just a huge shout-out to Aaron Gordon. I mean, he was spectacular tonight. 25 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 8 rebounds. I thought he was an absolute beast, along with Russell Westbrook on the offensive glass, specifically down the stretch. I thought Aaron Gordon got back to his roots tonight. He was playing bully ball. We saw him a lot in the dunker spot where Joker's going to find him, and he did. So Aaron Gordon was obviously a massive reason why the Nuggets were able to pull this game out. Russ and Jamal were more at the very end, but Aaron Gordon on the offensive glass down the stretch in this game I thought was also a huge key to this victory. And, it's like we don't talk about Joker a whole lot just because he always does this. He's always so good for this team. I will say something about Joker real quick. It definitely took him a little while to get going on the offensive end in this game. He didn't have a huge stat line or anything like that at the end of the first quarter, which is good. In my opinion, is good because I've talked about this all year long. This team is at their best when Nikola Jokic does not have to carry the majority of the burden on the offensive end. We've seen him have to do that at many games this season. We've had to see Nikola Jokic try to take over the scoring load, and the Nuggets tend to lose the majority of those games when Nikola Jokic has to be the primary scorer on this basketball team. Now, he did lead the team in scoring, but I love when Joker is a little bit more passive to start games and tries to get his teammates involved early on. I think it creates confidence for his teammates to hit their open shots. We did see Michael Porter Jr. get his first 3, and he didn't score a point after that. So that's definitely going to be, the biggest point of concern for me going into Game 2, as well as Zubats. How do you defend that guy? What sort of adjustments do they make for him? Will we see DeAndre Jordan at all? The rotations tonight, Peyton Watson plays 14 minutes. I thought he was pretty good overall. Russell Westbrook, 34 minutes. We were going into this series, we were all wondering, what are the rotations going to look like specifically between Russell Westbrook and Jalen Pickett? Well, Jalen Pickett played 5 minutes in today's game, and Russell Westbrook played 34. So there you go. And like David Adelman said prior to this postseason, He's going to put guys in there that he feels gives them the best chance to win on a game-to-game basis, and that's exactly what we saw here at Ball Arena. It was the right move. I know Russ struggled shooting the basketball. He was 5 for 17 from the field. But again, like I said earlier, the shots he made down the stretch in this game and the offensive rebounds he was getting down the stretch in this game were major factors as to why the Nuggets were able to pull this thing out. I don't think they win this game without the efforts from Russell Westbrook, specifically on the offensive glass, down the stretch in the fourth quarter and into overtime. So shout out to Russ for hanging in there like he did and helping this team get a win. All right, before we get out of here, let's hear a couple of minutes from Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman. He spoke to the media following the Nuggets' overtime victory over the Clippers.
Category. Yep. What did you think of the execution in transition, particularly on the defensive side?
Oh, we just flew around. Those two guys caused so many issues. I thought we adjusted too much early instead of just doing what we do hard. And I thought their intensity was better than ours early in the game. And the end of the second quarter is the reason why we won the game. We don't have that run. I think it was 13-2 to get it to 4. And it felt like one of those games where you're just kind of slowly crawling uphill. Then it was 3 at the end of the fourth. Seemed like we were going to win the game, tied. It just felt like it was like, incremental steps to win a basketball game. So it wasn't pretty on either end, or I'm sorry, for either team, but you just got to make enough plays to win. And I told the guys in there, it's I'm just going to play the guys I feel like are impacting the game the most. The stat sheet really doesn't mean anything to me. But, they did a good job with their adjustments. We're going to have to watch the tape and do a better job of attacking it. But that's what this is, and it was funny. I thought our best adjustment of the night was, let's go back to doing what we thought we were going to do. Let's just do it better. And we did.
Russ had that really rough week a couple weeks ago, and you said after the Kings game, he said, I'm not playing him or playing Jalen.
Yeah.
I'm playing whoever's going to win. What did you see from him late in this game for him to be able to be that kind of impact player that you're looking for?
Yeah, Russ is Russ. Defensively, he was absolutely incredible. He was playing free safety out there. I thought a lot of the reasons why the turnovers happened, even if it wasn't him forcing it, just the way he was roaming around and impacting the game, was great for us. And then offensively, a couple of times I thought he attacked. Maybe we could have pulled it out and executed, but that's what Russ does. He's going to play in attack mode. So I don't think he's going to change after 17 years. If he sees somebody in front of him one-on-one, he's going to attack. And then he made an enormous 3, in the fourth. CB's 3. Aaron hit a big one, and that's what we're talking about right now. We have to be able to make shots when they triple, quadruple Jamal and Nikola. That's just the bottom line. And you can come up with all the schemes you want and change the offense and all this stuff. They're going to bring bodies. So people have to cut and finish, or they got to catch and shoot and make shots for us to do something special.
When you look at Jamal's first half and his second half, just forget the shot making or whatever, what the field goal percentage was, but there was a noticeable uptick in his aggression.
Yeah.
Was there anything said, or was it just kind of Jamal just kind of being Jamal, and how does that encapsulate how you guys are as a team?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's almost like the worse things got, the better he got. And that seems like that's always who he is. And I also thought Jamal, he's 7 for 20, 3 for 7, but the ones he made were so huge and so big. I know one, it got us back to, we were down 7, took us back down 4, made one to tie it finally. And the side pick and roll was really good to us tonight, allowed us to attack in different ways, flash people behind the defense. And Jamal got loose a little bit that way. And then obviously Nikola every night, man. It's 29, 12, and 9 in that game, that physical of a game, just incredible.
All right, there is Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman after they get the 112-110 victory here at Ball Arena over the LA Clippers. They take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 will be coming up here at Ball Arena on Monday night, 8 p.m. start. It's going to be weird getting out of Ball Arena when it's still light out. I kind of like this 1:30 start. Okay, real quick before we get out of here. What the hell was Jeff Van Gundy doing on the sideline? Trying to hold the ball? Joker's trying to rip it out of his hands. Why are coaches doing this? Now, we saw it a couple of years ago. It wasn't a coach that did that. It was the owner of the Phoenix Suns, Matt Ishbia. But I can't believe what I was witnessing here, and the crowd was going berserk, by the way. I mean, it was a very odd situation. And look, I like Jeff Van Gundy. He has always been very good to the Nuggets and very good to Nikola Jokic specifically when he was with ESPN calling games. Always praised Joker, early on before a lot of the national media was. But that was a really weird moment, and I hope that the NBA looks into that and either slaps him on the wrist or something, because that's just unacceptable. You can't be doing that kind of crap. It's just a weird situation. And after the game, Joker was asked about that. He said, quote, "It seems like it's part of basketball nowadays," close quote. It shouldn't be. Joker should not having to be fighting with an assistant coach on the sideline to get the ball away. It's just ridiculous. So I did want to throw that out there lastly, and we'll see if the league looks into Jeff Van Gundy for that at all. But that's going to do it for the post-game show here live at Ball Arena, where the Nuggets get a 112-110 victory over the LA Clippers. Stay tuned, because keep it right here, because we've got Avs Stars pregame coming up next. This has been In the Paint right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
This has been In the Paint, Denver Nuggets postgame show.
Holy cow.
On Denver's official home for Nuggets basketball. Altitude Sports Radio.
That was fun.
92.5. Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 has Brett Kane at 6 in the morning. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane 7 to 10.
We've taken this show from nothing to the top-rated show in Colorado, correct?
The morning sprint with Coach and Raj from 10 to noon.
5 days a week with me and Raj at a breakneck pace.
PhD noon to 3. Kreckman and Lindahl from 3 to 6.
You have to maximize the window of an all-time great.